What's going on today, guys? Today I'm in the Steve Willie Memorial Rose Garden, just kind of messing around at home. But I hadn't been doing very much out here. I've been busy, so things at home have been getting neglected a little bit as far as the yard. But we'll dive in and do a few things with the Zoysia, and I'll show you before and after it was plugged and all that stuff. So stay tuned. We're going to do a little follow-up on the Zoysia. It's hot out here. My word, is hot. You can't even see them in there hardly. They're so small, but there's 400 in this area. Well, here's my roses out here in the Steve Willie Memorial Garden. They're pretty sad. I just haven't paid any attention to them this year. I've been way busier than I thought. Got a lot of things like black spot and hadn't pruned deadheaded them or anything. We'll do a little something to them today and see if we can't get them on the turnaround. Here's the Zoysia. I plugged this last year, and it's more or less filled in. I've been I'm almost there right here in these spots, but I mean, you can see the sun would shine in from over there onto this spot, and this spot right here is really not gonna get very much sun, so it's gonna be a little slower. Hadn't done much in the way of fertility back here this year. Been throwing a little 818 on it when I can. Hadn't really sprayed any weeds in it, and I do have some weeds in the bare areas. Spurge galore. Sedges. So we'll see what we can do about some weeds and mow it properly. I've been mowing it with a string trimmer because I've been in a hurry, and that's not ideal at all. You can see us ripping some ends and stuff. And it might even be a little touch of some patch fungus in it, but I don't think it's really, at this point and this time of year, going to be that huge a concern to me. But there you go. All right, let's mow this. Let's see, how tall do I want to mow this stuff? We'll start with 2.5 inches and see what that looks like. Now, the Steve Willie Memorial Garden is also otherwise known as the place where I keep my trash cans. So I got you right here fittingly on the trash can, so you can watch all this mowing magic. Don't go anywhere. had this thing set halfway in between mulch and bag, and that's pretty much exactly what it did. Threw about half of it on the ground and half of it in the bag. I guess I should have just bagged it. All right, that part of the mowing phase is over. Time for a little string trimming in these hard to reach areas that the mower just wouldn't go. Maybe I should do something along this walkway. I don't know how I can set the thing up to show that. So yeah. Got some little spots here like in these rocks and in the beds and under the deck. I'm gonna spray with glyphosate. I've got my handy flow zone thing here rigged up with it. I'll try to set y'all up so y'all can see how awesome that is. Roses love it when you spray glyphosate around them. Not really. Guess I got this thing where you can see what I'm doing. Alright, for return we have some spurge and some sedges that we want to get rid of in the Steve Willie Memorial Garden. So I have my Celsius and all the pertinent information you need is right here in this thing on the label. Right here. And we got prostrate surge on the label, and it's at the high rate, just 0.32 grams per 1,000 square feet. And the per 1,000 square feet, you know, for our little gallon hand pump can thing is a gallon. So for 1 gallon, the high rate is 1 teaspoon. I happen to have my official Celsius 1/2 and 1 teaspoon measuring deal here. That seems like a lot. Oh well. It's in the Steve Willie Memorial Garden. I don't know if they're trash. I'll level off. Teaspoon. Dump that in a gallon of water. We had sedges. I'm gonna get this little deal here. This is a sedge hammer. I know from the label on this that my gallon rate is that 125 cc's, the little scooper there. This stinks. Don't mix up any more of this than you're going to use it one time, because it ain't going to be worth the crap tomorrow. Sitting in water over time pretty much renders it useless. You might could get a couple days out of it. But I mean, just riding around with a can full of it all the time to be ready to rock and roll on sedges is not really ideal. I'm always hesitant to tell people what surfactants to use and how much of it, but a lot of people say, my straw shears did not kill my stuff. Why not? Well, you gotta have something to get it in the plant. And what I usually use is this methylated seed oil. I've had real good luck with the Subvert Depth 10 Plus when I'm, when I'm going wider scale, spraying out of the permagreen or something. This can be pretty detrimental to turf in hotter weather. So take that for what it is. Excellent penetration into your target weed, but it will also penetrate into your grass. So just always keep that in mind. But in our little 1 gallon thing, I guess I'm gonna get me a few ounces of methylated seed oil to lube it up and get it in there. This goes for pretty much any time you're using Zoysia. You're gonna want to use seed oil or something like the Depth 10 Plus, or both even. Just if it's super hot, you're rolling on your own risk. Don't say I told you to do it. That's all I'm saying. And it's not hot today. Overcast. But anyway, your surfactant with your sulfonylureas especially seems to make a lot of difference in your efficacy level. Keep that in mind. All right, I'll shake it up and we'll get at it. So I've just got a little cheapo hand can, got an AI tip on it. Gonna spray over our spurges. That used to keep me on the trash can, but anyway, you just use your fan tip to push it across in a pattern. That's it for our weed control. Let's see what's next. Our roses here would need an upgrade to be considered looking like total crap, so I pay a little attention to them, see where we can get them coming even better here. All right, I'm just gonna trim all these dead spots out of them. Where you see you got a little node there, you can just cut in front of that little node coming out. All right, that might be slightly better. Maybe. All right, let's move. Losing my voice. See if we figure out something to put on. Go through the cabinet to see what kind of old stuff I had. This is 2-in-1 Systemic Rose and Flower Care. It's got to be good. This 696. Maybe. This one is a liquid 3-in-1. That must mean it's got some kind of fungicide in it. I left my glasses over at the truck. Oh, dang it. Tebuconazole, imidacloprid. So tebuconazole is your 0.08% and 0.15% imidacloprid. Oh, that ought to rock and roll. A 9-14-9. Well, we'll try this one out. I'm just gonna put the full dose in a watering can and dump on it and see what happens. Ought to be good. Store brand stuff mixed up in the jug here. It's systemic, so probably just pour it on. I got these little spots here. See what it does to that. Can't hurt, right? Not much of anything in this stuff, but I had it in the cabinet. It's pretty old. We'll give it a shot and see what happens. I haven't really done much to this at all in the last probably 40 days, except for cut it with a weed eater, string trimmer. But all along I've been pushing the plugs. When I started off with it last year, I think we might have used a combination like things like Carbon X, X-Start, and maybe even some RGS. This season, I know I've done a little X Start mixed with 818, and I was doing that earlier in the year, earlier in the summer, you know, every couple of weeks. But here lately I just hadn't had time to get to it with anything. I might have put I think I put the Subvert GT MF on it once earlier in the summer. Nice fill in though. Everybody's mowing on all sides of me now. It's just like suburbia out here. But you know, nothing fancy. We'll see what happens with the over-the-counter with the box store rose remedy stuff. Got my Zoysia mowed. We'll see how the Celsius and sedge hammer worked on my Spurgeon other stuff. Spurgeon sedge. Sounds like a steakhouse. All right, let's go check something else out. This was nice and green and I cut it and turned brown. This is Bermuda. So why you will see something like that? Well, this time of year, for one, you kind of see the sunlight dwindling down and the Bermuda not making quite as much nice with the green as it would when we got longer days. But surefire sign here of I'm cutting it too high and not frequent enough. So in the thick of the summer, when I was trying to keep up with it, I was cutting it 2 or 3 times a week and keeping it pretty low and just cutting a little bit off of it every time. You wouldn't get that. But right now it's probably like 2.5 inches and some change. And you know, when you're cutting an inch or so off of it when I'm cutting it just once a week, I just don't have all the time in the world here. But that's what you get. But you know, by like a day or two it'll be green again on top. Anyway, so if you're experiencing this and it's bothering you, cut it low frequently, and then more frequently. And when you get tired of cutting it, cut it again. You can cut this stuff almost every day. Can't keep up. And you're seeing the same thing back here. Some of it will have to do too with your cultivar. The nicer stuff, the hybrid, it doesn't do it quite as bad, and it tends to do better mowing it low, and it doesn't show that brown underneath in it as bad as, say, a seeded variety. The upper end seeded varieties don't show it as bad either. I got a lot of Monaco out in the front, and some of those patches don't take the beating as bad as the regular common does in other spots. But so variety and mow it more often and then mow again. I appreciate y'all hanging out with me a little bit and checking out the progress on the Steve Willie Memorial Garden, and I'll try to keep up with it a little better here until winter strikes. See if I can get another little flush out of the roses there, take care of them a little better. But the Zoysia's filled in pretty decent, and I'm happy with it. I'll not really much more I'm going to do to that this year. But anyway, thanks for watching. I appreciate it, and maybe I'll come up with something better next time.